Hello and welcome. This is Zoo, and today we are jumping back into Wolfquest. This is a bit of a treat today because I am finally going to be covering Lost River Places and Items Guide. Now, this is very long overdue, similar to Amethyst Mountain and Sioux Creek's Places and Items Guide, but I am quite excited to jump in. Now, I also may have been on vacation for a bit with my family, which is why y'all haven't seen me around. And I also managed to fix the streaming and recording quality after I got back with some trial and error. So excitingly enough, we are returning to Multiplayer Fridays. I will be streaming them, as I did previously. Anyway, as always guys, I do hope you enjoy these videos, and hey, if you do, please like or give a pulse up and subscribe. And with that, we're gonna go ahead and jump right in. Enjoy, folks. Okay, I don't know why Wolfquest feels the need to interrupt my achievement hunting, but they do. Hello, gentlemen, ladies, whoever you are. Females. Alright. I apologize in advance for entering your territory. I was just looking for a marker. Anyway, today, guys, as obviously stated in the intro, we are doing Lost River Places and Items. This is way overdue. Pretty much like my last item and places maps. But, oh, that was a pretty growl. Never heard that before. Fascinating. Anyway, there's been several patches since I was last on. I've had a few difficulties fixing my streams and recordings. Wanted to fix the blurry, and then I broke my encoder. Patch now. Was also on vacation. So when I got back, this was the first thing I worked on, and that looks really funny. Arnie does not trust me. Anyway, yeah, we are in. I'm calling it High Pond because I cannot pronounce the middle name to save my life, as usual. And this is above the two-step, all the way up north into a little shallow pond at the very top, which is what I'm assuming the beginning of the river? Anyway, these guys are not happy that I'm on their territory, but that is the location for our first, and we're starting with natural locations, but not seasonal requirements. Seasonal requirements will be at the end of the video. Any natural locations I missed, any possibly non-natural locations, all of them will be at the end of the video that are seasonal requirements. Okay, yes, I know you don't like me here. Good grief, always interrupting me. Anyway, we will be heading to our next location, which is a little bit down the river. Give me a moment to do that. And that is, of course, our second location. I'm gonna go ahead, show that on the map real quick. There we go, right in between the two peaks. It's gonna be after the first waterfall from this direction. And it's gonna be right above the two-step, just between these two mountain peaks. You do want to be careful, because I've been over here before with Arnie during a test run, and I accidentally threw myself off the cliff and took about 889 damage, nearly died on 9% health. You will possibly survive, I cannot guarantee that, but it's a thing. It could happen. Anyway, let's go ahead and head on to our next location. Alright, so we are at our next location, and this is called the Lost. It is a whirlpool that goes underground. You cannot be sucked into it that I know of, and yeah, it's kind of daunting understanding that there's an underground water reservoir down there somewhere, taking this water. Who knows where it leads. Anyway, that is another natural location on the map. It is quite literally right at the top of the Lost and Found. I do believe this is where it pops back up out. But there's these sort of like dark like pines or something down there. Something that makes a little bit of a mark. If you go a little bit north from there, you will reach this area. It's right at the end of the Lost. Alright, so this is our next location, and it is called the Elder Spring. Now the water here is very, 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 very hot. And as you can see from the steam that's boiling up, not safe to probably jump into. At the same time, it looks very inviting and toasty. But, yes, this is our next natural location. Not a seasonal requirement, again. And it's kind of on this strange patch right near Little Yellowstone, right south of it. It's kind of an open clearing with white markings on the map. It'll be pretty easy to spot even from far away because it emits a bunch of steam. This does look very inviting though. Who could blame for taking a dip?
Oh no!
Okay, so our last location that is not a seasonal requirement is going to be Glen Waterfall. Now, it's just a little bit down the ways of our previous location, as you see. Just keep following the river past the back 40, and right above Glen is this waterfall. In fact, there's something what looks like almost a pond on the map because it's a bit wider in the stream, and that's where you'll want to go. But quite a pretty location, especially for a den. And I do see some pronghorn calling me, but I don't think I'm gonna take them. Anyway, that would be the last of our natural locations that are not seasonal. Seasonal requirements I'll go over later. But yes, quite a pretty view. Now let's go ahead and jump into non-natural locations, or human-made, and then we will probably either jump into seasonal or item requirements. Alright, I do believe we're very close to a location known as the reintroduction fence. Say a broken down van over here. But there should be a fence around here somewhere. I'm not too entirely sure where, but it's gotta be close. Oh, I think it's right there. Anyway, this is the wolf reintroduction fence, and this is part of our human locations, basically. Human sites and locations. Wolf reintroduction. So it's just a random fence in the corner of nowhere, and I'm gonna assume this is where rehabilitated or cared for wolves have been taken care of long enough so that they can return to the wilds and fictional world of Lost River. But that's one location down. This is right to the left of the T of the hinterlands if you look on the map. Pretty easy to spot. From my understanding, none of the human locations are seasonal requirements, so I'll be able to visit each and every one of them. That's the first though, the reintroductory fence. Let's go to our next. Alright, our next location, known as the Green Snowsmobile, appears to be right up ahead. Now this is our second human location, and I'll show the map place in just a moment. Apparently somebody flew off a bit too much. I was worried the bison was gonna be on it, but it looks like they're far enough away not to bother us. How nice. Alright, so this is right below the B, a little bit off to the left of Blade's Peak. Pretty easy location, not hard to miss at all. So we're gonna go ahead and go to our next location. Okay, I do believe we're actually pretty close to our next location. So I'm gonna go ahead and unpause. Oh, there it is, Toadhenge. Hoppy come here. Anyway, random circular, any pattern of a circle, statues of a bunch of toads. Or possibly frogs. Probably toads though, since that's what the achievement indicates. Yes, this is interesting. Location on the map is not actually very far from our last one. You just come down here, go to the bottom of the second hump on the mountain of Blade's Peak. Mountain, really big hill, I'm not exactly sure which. But it's about in the second one, farthest to the right. Not very far away, so it should be relatively easy to get to. Just try and maneuver the hill or rocky mountain terrain, whatever you want to call it, very carefully. Especially if you have a wolf with lower health than average. You could easily lose quite a bit of your health. Anyway, on to our next location. Okay, I do believe this is what I think it is, but there is a UFO Monument, which will be our next human location. Yes, this is it. So this is the UFO Monument in the Lost River. I'll pop up the map location real quick. If you go actually right diagonal from these, looks like dark trees in the Lost River, go straight diagonal from that, you might actually be able to end up on it. It's on the crest of this rocky mountainside. Or hill. Again, don't know if it's a hill, don't know if it's a mountain. It looks sort of like a really big hill, because I don't know, could be a mountain. But yes, right on that ridge, probably go straight diagonal from those dark trees, or dark tree-like figures, and you'll get there. UFO Monument. Alright, on to our next location. We are slowly stalking our next location, which happens to be the old refrigerator. And our next human location. There we go. It's a catch box, apparently. This is located in a small clearing close to Allison Acres, and a little bit away from our last location, so not too far away, but still quite a walk for our wolf. It'll be at the top right of the clearing, so I do believe it'll be relatively easy to guess location just from that clearing in general. Yeah, that would be another location down. Alright, old fridge, we have got to move on. Next location. Alright, we are at our next location, which I do believe is located inside this cabin. Is ironically where one of the den locations are. This is the conspiracy board. The truth is in there. Somewhere, anyway. The conspiracy board is another human location on the map. It is actually in the clearing right behind the back 40, farthest to the left. This is not too far from our next location, but yeah, this is a nice place for a den. I could definitely... Are there pillows or a body underneath here? That is concerning. Anyway, this is a nice location for a den in my opinion. Yeah, you got your bathtub, you got your stove, I want to say that's a stove. You got your bed, your random rug, a chair. Is that a milk jug or something? Or pail. And then you got your den, which is under the porch, which is always nice. But yeah, bit of a nice area. All right, let's head to our next location, and hopefully we'll be able to get that achievement soon. Alright, I do believe our next location is right up the hill from here. Yes. This is the Leotol Family Cemetery? I'm trying to pronounce it. I don't think I'm getting it right. I attempted. We have Moses Leotol, or Leotol. Tonic for every element. Silver, and ever in every endeavor. Yeah, definitely interesting location. But this is the Leotol Cemetery. What does this say? Not entirely sure. Hard to read for me. Anyway, yes, that is the Leotol Cemetery. And that is located not too far from the springs, as you can see by the smoke. And it'll be right next to Little Yellowstone. You go from this location right here down to the bottom of a small hill. There's like a clearing almost, and that is where you will find your cemetery. Anyway, we will now be going on to our final and last location for human locations. So give me a moment and we'll be right over. That is not what we're looking for. That's interesting. I never noticed there was a fist up here. Very fascinating. But there's the peace sign over there, which is our final human location. Bit odd, I never noticed the fist there. And there it is. quirky sculpture. Weird human emote. Fair enough. Definitely can't argue with that statement. Not at all. Alright, well, we finally got all Lost River landmarks, human ones at least, and we will be headed over to either seasonal achievements, or we will be headed over to items. So give me a moment to go ahead and start that. Alright, so due to the popularity of the town itself and the area around the town, I will be doing most of my locations from here. Some from around Temple Rocks, the Cattle Ranch, and possibly Crooked Creek as well, another popular location. I will be putting a link down in the description giving basically the wiki page that will have a bit more detail on item locations and place locations if y'all need it. Considering dens are in different locations and you may not want to go all the way to the locations that I have, as there are typically 3 different locations of a single item, you could always go off of that instead, which I would definitely recommend instead of visiting the specific locations. But again, out of popularity of these 2 specific locations, I'm just gonna grab a few items from each. 1 per, of course. One of these days I may redo all 3 of these videos that I have for Amethyst, Slough Creek, and Lost River, just so that I can have each 3 locations down. But for now, we'll keep it as is. So first up is the very ever terrifying yet creepy doll. Now, this one I found very tricky to find more than some of the other locations. It'll be to the left of Allison Acres, and it'll be to the right of Grant's Glen and above the town. It'll be on the second mountainside on a rock right between this ridge. Now, I will admit, again, harder to find. Big key point here, if you look up to the left, there is a watchtower, and that is going to help you a lot. I do believe that's one of the fire watchtowers and one of the most popular to visit right over the town. So from there you would want to go right and down to a giant rock, which will have the doll literally nestled in this little nook. Just to give you a little bit of surrounding area so you guys can see everything. But yeah, this is where the doll will be located. Only giving so many context clues because I did find it difficult to find her. Alright, next location. Okay, so our next location is actually not very far from that rock. As I said, there is a watchtower. Go ahead, head up to that watchtower, go up the stairs, and you will enter the watchtower to find a coffee mug just sitting on some old binders right over here. Now, there's actually quite a lot to explore in this old watchtower, but yes. There's actually technically 2 coffee mug locations very close together. One is in the watchtower, another one is somewhere in town. But we will be just going over this one right here. So this is the next location, coffee cup. Oh, somebody forgot to take their turkey out of the oven. Oh well, at least it didn't burn down the watchtower. Very nice. Alright, we will be moving on to our next location. Alright, our third item is going to be in town, and that is going to be the Geyser Tonic. I'm not sure how many people actually know it's here, but it's actually at the steps of this white house with a semi-red, semi-brown door. It's not very far from the Clown Den, as you see, and it's also right to the left, depending on if it's my left or your left, of the pink house. Now, this is going to be right up to the left and a bit upwards of the T of the town and below Grant's Glen. Isn't too hard to find. It's kind of hidden, again, right by these steps. You won't really see it until you get very close. Alright, we are going to go ahead and head on to our next location, if we don't get interrupted by stranger wolves. Alright, one of our next items is called the Maraca. One of my viewers did not like this when I ran around with it. The shaking drove them nuts. But this is where we are going to be located, somewhere in the middle of this lake, not too far from this bridge over there. And you would go past the first section of land and go into the second one past some water, and you will find the Maraca at the center of this island. To give you a quick overview, it's a little bit from the town off to the left near this dammed up water, and it's going to be basically a little bit off from the shore, not entirely in the center of the lake, but close enough. It'll still be isolated from the rest of the land. But yes, Maraca. On to our next item. I think our favorite is coming up next, so stay tuned. Alright, so our next item is one of our favorite by far on this channel, known as the pink dinosaur. The pink dinosaur, also lovingly called Barnie, and there are some wolves getting pretty close, aren't they? This is also very relatively close to another location we'll be discussing shortly. It's just on the outskirts of town, as you can see, past the small creek that leads up to Allison Acres. There's a little white, like, rock structure right there. You can barely see it, but it's gonna be right to the right of that, underneath this cliff next to a couple of rocks, and right before Floppy, or right after, depending on which direction you came from. Which leads me on to the next thing. This is not part of the exploration achievement, but you guys might want to take a look at it, similar to the wolf soup achievement we achieved later. Possibly. But yes, this is Floppy. If you visit her in every season, you will receive the Floppy Forever achievement. Hello, Floppy. Alright, on to our next item location. Coward, you better run. I totally won that fight. So I killed the alpha, and the other one finally fled. Might have hurt myself a little in the process. Man, nobody wants me to do a tutorial these days. Stranger wolves, so rude. Anyway, what was I doing? Oh yeah, next item. As I was saying, we're gonna ignore the fact that I'm limping. So up here on a slight ledge is a pickaxe. This is your next item you'll want to do. We're now closer to the cattle ranch, as most of the items you'll be wanting to grab are now off, except the Walkie Talkie, which will be the last item we grab. I know this is going to be a little bit annoying for y'all. Probably should have said that before I jumped in over here. But yes, the Walkie Talkie will be last. I believe it's somewhere over here by the Unspoken, not too far from the town. Or you could go up to the other location, somewhere by Crooked Creek. But for now, yes, there is the pickaxe. And it is going to be right by Temple Rocks. Go up from the T, go in the slight trench that appears up here. Don't fall down, you might regret it. But yeah, that is the location. And if you excuse me for a moment, I'm going to mark this territory, make it non-wolf present territory, and sleep, because poor Arnie is now at 13% health and has 2 leg injuries. Give me a second. My goodness, please guys, let me finish my tutorial. Can't reach me here? Fine, that's great, that's awesome, that's amazing. You wanna know why? Because I can bite you, but you can't bite me. About to kill the second alpha today. Fine, you know what? I'm down for that. Yeah, you better round, you cowards. This is my glitchy rock space that I kind of taking advantage of, so you... I don't know, tactful, I don't know. Arnie does not have a strength buff or a health buff. In fact, he has a debuff of 2 on both, so gotta be really careful about this. Alright, so where was I? Oh yeah, location of the lanterns. This is not technically an exploration achievement. I guess it could kind of be. Oh my goodness, why are you guys like this? Alright, so there are 2 miner's lanterns. You can pick them up and you can go into the cave over there. Now what this does, basically, if you travel to the deepest part, you will get an achievement, from my understanding. It's been a while since I've been here, so let's take a quick look. Yes, brave the darkness and find the deepest point in Lost Luck Silver Mine. You would grab a lantern and then go ahead and head down there, which we've already done before, so I'm not going to give too many spoilers away. Once again, not really technically part of the Explore achievement process. I wanted to show you guys this anyway. Alright, give me a moment and we will go back to the next item location. Alright, next item is called the Toy Airplane, and it'll be right on this little ledge past this big rocky outcrop. Now here's the thing, I was previously looking at the wiki page, and this actually seems to be slightly off on location. So it is slightly to the right of this black area on this ridge, rather than actually on that rocky area that it keeps trying to pinpoint you to. If I was to truthfully go right on top of where the wiki says it would be somewhere on top of these rocks, which it is not. And trust me, I've tried to get up there. It is very difficult. Anyway, I'm pretty sure we could bug ourselves up by jumping around in odd spots, but this is where the airplane is located, on this rocky ledge, further away from that big rocky outcrop on the map that is roughly on this ledge. Anyway, on to our next location. Alright, so our next item location is Pyrite. It'll be in the dry stream bed right past the log and close to some rocks there. Yes, we did get a follower, a friend to join us on this travels. If you look, it's right above the MMP, kind of just barely in between each. But yes, find the dry riverbed and you will be able to find this pyrite just sitting here. It's, I don't believe it has a scent because it is a rock, similar to the amethyst in Amethyst Mountain. Anyway, on to our next item. Okay, so the shoe that I located is a good way up north at a gas station, and it looks like a clown shoe. Clown lost his shoe. But an abandoned gas station just a little bit up past Temple Rocks. It's probably to the left of Crooked Creek, but it is before this giant mountain ridge between these two hills, and you'll find it right there. Right next to this old, I'm assuming it's a gas pump? Anyway, yes, just go next to the abandoned gas station and it'll be sitting here waiting for you to collect. I do believe there's another location somewhere closer up above the back 40 to the town if you wanted to go take a look. But let's go get our Walkie Talkie. Alright, we got rid of our little lady friend for now as I reloaded a previous save to get to this Walkie Talkie, which is our final and last item. It is right above the T in the Unspoken. This is going to be closer to the town than the cattle ranch. And quite frankly, this has been a bit of a run. I actually did try and attempt to find the Walkie Talkie near Crooked Creek where it supposedly is supposed to be, but I was unable to find it. So I will look into that later because now I'm curious to... Oh, that is funny. So, we have completed the Lost River scavenger hunt for the collectibles and items. More toys for the pups! Makes funny noises when you pick it up and drop it, similar to the doll and the Maraca and other toys. Anyway, that'll be the end of the toys, and we will be jumping into the seasonal quite shortly. Alright, so you'll want to head to the Crooked Waterfall, which is going to be quite literally all the way by the Crooked Creek Den. You'll see this little dark marking area, that's where the waterfall is located. But you'll want to do this in winter. This is a seasonal requirement, and this is our first seasonal requirement that we'll be going over. Now, right after you get your mate, you'll be entering what we call winter, and have to do the territorial marking quest. This is the location in which you'll want to head to immediately. After you get this achievement, basically go ahead and transition over to spring, and we will be back in just a moment with our next natural location season requirement. Whoops! Okay, so I kind of forgot that was an achievement, but we got that achievement, and now we will be running over to the spring summit. Okay, everyone finally got on the din on their little wobbly legs. I had to bark them twice the din just to get there. And we are almost to the peak, and it is now spring, so we should be able to get this achievement. Almost there. There it is! Spring or summer. Breast view of the town. What town? Probably not the town they're thinking of. Anyway, yeah, let's go ahead, head on down, head back to our pups, and then spam feed and sleep until it's summer so we can go to our next location. Oh, and just for reference, even though I know I've technically already shown it, Blade's Peak is going to be in the upmost part up here. Y'all saw the pathway I took to get up there. It's relatively easy to get there, and pretty obvious where the location is, but yeah, Blade's Peak Summit, up there. Alright, there's that picnic table. Y'all can probably see it from right over here. It's on that middle island. We're gonna go ahead and swim out. This is the location right here where we found the toy Maraca. I really, really hope that this is it. Why is there a mailbox here? Anyway, if it is, I will go ahead and end the video after this, and that'll be the conclusion of our seasonal requirements. If it's not, I have a bit longer to go. Come on, please. Yes! Picnic Rock in the summer. That's all of Lost River's natural landmarks. This is the seasonal summer requirement, and it'll be in the middle of this lake beside the town. Go to an island. There's a picnic table just sitting here. It's not very far from the bridge or town at all, and you can see it's a little bit past the Maraca Island. Right over there. Alright, and that is gonna do it, guys. That is the end of this video. I will be rolling out the outro. Hope you guys enjoyed. Alright, I think that is probably enough for one day, but I hope you guys have enjoyed. I really do always enjoy playing Wolfquest and getting to share it with my viewers. So as always, if you did enjoy this video and you want to see more like it, please like or give a thumbs up and subscribe. And with that, we're going to be ending off the video, and if you want to see some other content, I'll put it down hopefully at the end of this video. I'll see y'all next time.